Hi, I'm Erica Monet and welcome back to Metamorphosis. Today we're talking about what it means to have physical abundance and how you can create it in your life. But before we get started, make sure that you like this video, comment down below, and make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. All you have to do is hit that little bell, and every time I post, you'll get a notification. So let's get into it. What does it mean to have physical abundance? Well, when we're talking about having physical abundance, the first thing we all think of is our body. But that is not the only thing that we need to have physical abundance. Remember, if we talked about it last video, that abundance means to have more than you can hold, to have more than enough. And so physically, that has to do with our person as an individual, our overall health, as well as just where we put ourselves. And so one of the first things that we want to do when we're talking about creating physical abundance for ourselves is we want to put ourselves in the company of the right people. Not only does that have a transformative effect on who you are as an individual, but it has an effect on what type of spaces you allow yourself to be in. So when you talk about physical abundance and the right people, we're talking about positive. We want positive people around us. We want people who are trying to do new things. We want people who are trying to make changes. And so something you want to look for when you're talking about the right social circle is you want someone in your circle that you can mentor. But you also want someone in your circle that can mentor you. You want to be always able to grow as an individual. And so that part of your physical abundance also has a positive effect on your mental and spiritual abundance, because now you're putting yourself in the right space. The second thing we want to do to just create physical abundance for ourselves is that we want to make sure that we are creating a healthy lifestyle that fits our bodies. So, one of the things that people love to tell you to do, right, is eat this way, go to the gym, do this thing, do that thing. But not everything works for every person. You want to do what's healthy. So you want to make sure you're getting physical activity. You want to make sure that you're eating well. You want to make sure that you're drinking enough water. But what may be enough water for you may not be enough water for someone else, or maybe too much water for somebody else. So you kind of have to know what you should be having for your body. The other thing that you really want to keep in mind is that when we're talking about physical activity and getting healthy, going for a walk every day is a simple way to do that, because sometimes we think we have to go to the gym and hit all these weights and be running everywhere in the neighborhood or riding our bike all around the city we live in. But that's not necessarily the best thing for you. You have to choose what works for you. And when we talk about dietary changes, right, we want to make sure that we're eating well. We want to make sure that we are eating in a way that is helpful to us. So just as a personal example, I have fibromyalgia and I have some issues with balance and things like that. I also have another just ailment that kind of affects how I can eat. And so when I'm doing physical activity and I'm choosing my diet, I want to make sure that the physical activity that I do is not something that's going to be too taxing on my body. But I also want to make sure that whatever I'm eating is not going to be too taxing on my body. And so I made a personal decision to go pescatarian with the exception of chicken. So I primarily just eat seafood and then everything else, just no red meats. And chicken. Chicken is allowed in my diet. And I added chicken back in because at first I thought that was going to work for me to go fully pescatarian, but it actually was not working well for some of my other health needs. And so I had to add chicken in. That's what's right for me. May that be what's best for you? Maybe not. You have to figure out what is best for your body and the best way to take care of yourself. When you figure out the best way to take care of yourself, you will start experiencing more physical abundance. And then the last thing that we really want to make sure we're focusing on when we're talking about physical abundance, remember earlier when I mentioned the spaces we're in? Well, you want to make sure that you're in a space that is positive, that helps you to be centered and helps you get to where you're trying to go. And so you want to make sure that you're organized. And let me tell you, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I woke up yesterday and was organized. That is something that I am always still working on. And sometimes we may even find an organization system that works for us in one part of our life, but somewhere else in our life, it's not the same. So you want to make sure that you're having organization present in a way that is helpful to you. The less clutter you have, the less stress you experience. It's really strange how those two things are correlated. And then something else you want to just keep in mind when we're talking about creating a space for physical abundance in a physical space is you want to create a calming space. So something like nice fragrances. So maybe like just making sure that you're burning some soy-based candles or diffusing some essential oils that really bring a positive smell even to the room that you're in. Something as small as that can be really, really transformative. And then just creating a calm space for yourself. So sometimes, we're living in a house with other people. It's not so easy to just say, oh, this is going to be the feng shui of my apartment, right? When you're living in a house with other people, you might have to create a space that's just your space where you can get centered and calm and focused. And so if you really do those three things, you will see a huge difference in your physical abundance. And those things will also lead to you experiencing a greater mental and spiritual abundance. So again, we want to make sure that we're putting ourselves in the right social circle, placing ourselves around people where we can grow. We want to make sure that we are choosing what's best for our body when we're trying to become healthier. And we want to make sure that we have a positive space to be in. So that's it for how we're going to create physical abundance for ourselves. I would love to hear some ideas on ways that you would like to do that for yourself. Or maybe you have a question about another way to get something done. Please feel free to comment below and let me know. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm Erica Monet, and this is Metamorphosis.